Hello, how are you? I'm a little tired. Sit down, please. I'd like to speak English today too, to improve my speaking skill. Let's get it started. Today, it is October 31st, 2022. Are you interested in Halloween party? Do you know the reason why Halloween became so popular in Japan? Do you know the reason why Halloween party became so popular in Japan? Do you know about laissez-faire doctrine? I learned about laissez-faire doctrine from the Modern Society textbook. Laissez-faire doctrine. 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 Do you know about laissez-faire doctrine? The laissez-faire doctrine. The laissez-faire doctrine of Adam Smith. What do you think of the laissez-faire doctrine? I learned about laissez-faire doctrine from the Modern Society textbook. Laissez-faire doctrine from the Modern Society textbook. Laissez-faire doctrine. Did you learn about laissez-faire doctrine? I learned about laissez-faire doctrine. I learned about laissez-faire doctrine from the textbook. Laissez-faire doctrine. I learned about laissez-faire doctrine from the textbook. I learned about laissez-faire doctrine. Laissez-faire. Laissez-faire doctrine. Laissez-faire doctrine. Laissez-faire doctrine. I learned about laissez-faire doctrine. I learned about laissez-faire doctrine from the textbook. Laissez-faire doctrine. Laissez-faire doctrine. I learned about the laissez-faire doctrine from the textbook. Did you learn about laissez-faire doctrine when you were a student? Laissez-faire doctrine. Laissez-faire doctrine. Laissez-faire doctrine. Laissez-faire doctrine. Laissez-faire doctrine. Did you learn about laissez-faire doctrine? Did you learn about laissez-faire doctrine? Did you learn about laissez-faire doctrine? Laissez-faire doctrine. I learned about laissez-faire doctrine from the Modern Society textbook. Modern Society textbook. I learned about laissez-faire doctrine. Laissez-faire doctrine from the Modern Society book when I was a student. Laissez-faire doctrine, laissez-faire doctrine, laissez-faire doctrine. If you try that for the first time, it might be difficult to take the balance, to achieve the balance on the ball. If you try that for the first time, it could be difficult to achieve the balance on the ball. But once you get used to it, you can take the balance. You can achieve the balance easily. You can try gradually, step by step, little by little. Achieve a balance. Achieving a balance is very important in everything. It can be to everything. Achieving a balance is very important. If the balance collapses, if the balance collapses, the damage will appear somewhere. The damage will appear somewhere. Achieving a balance is very important, especially when it comes to the lifestyle. Many salaried workers might be devoting much of their time to work, not family or friends. That's why many people are having stress. So achieving a balance is very important. Achieving a balance is very important. That's why we have weekends to release our stress and to have relax. If the balance collapses, more problems will come out. More problems will arise. More problems will arouse. More problems will happen. More problems will appear. More problems will start to turn up, show up. So it is important to achieve a balance, 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 achieve a balance. When the economy goes down, the government tends to intervene in the society by public investment. When the economy goes down, the government tends to intervene in the economy with public investment in order to create demands for shopping and new recruitments, new employments. When the economy goes down, the government tends to intervene in the society with public investment in order to increase the demands and jobs. I learned that from the Modern Society textbook and from the school. I learned about that at school. Public investment. public investment plays a very important role, especially when it comes to recession. During the recession, without public investment, more unemployment people will increase. So public investment will help that to some extent, to a certain extent. With public investment, the economy will be helped to a certain extent, not perfected, but to a certain extent, to some degrees. Public investment. Have you heard of public investment? Public investment plays a very important role. The economy went down even with the public investment at that time, but if it had not been public investment, the economy would have been worse. The economy even went down with the public investment at that time, but if it had not been public investment, the economy would have been worse. So we can say, thanks to the investment, the recession was prevented to some extent. The scale of the recession was alleviated to some extent. So the scale of the recession was alleviated to some extent thanks to the public investment. 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 The theory is based on that the speed of the light is fastest. The theory is based on the prerequisite that the speed of light is the fastest in this universe. The supply of the masks could not catch up with the demands for masks. The supply of the masks could not catch up with the speed of the demands for masks. The supply for masks could not catch up with the speed of the demands of the masks. If there is no demand, the business might not go well. We tend to find the business which are with a lot of demands. But there might be chances in the businesses which are no demands. I think many of us will find the businesses with a lot of demands, but actually the chance might exist in the businesses which have no demands at all. Thanks to his constant research in the field, he achieved the goal. If you are really interested in the field, what you're doing now, you can achieve that someday. We cannot assure when you can achieve that, but someday you will, because you will never stop pursuing your career or what you are doing now. Do you like competition? We are usually in a competition forever. We will be competed everywhere. For example, when we are in a high school, company, or everywhere. I don't like it. We are all different. We are all human, and we are all respected as such. Competition. In Sundays, there are some competitions going on in the ground. You can see some competitions taking place in the field every Sunday. We can see some events taking place in the ground. There is always a competition in the hall every Sunday. With the development of technologies, our life will change drastically. With the development of new technologies, our life will change. The criminal said that he would expose the pictures of the victims if he did not obey his order. The criminal said that he would expose the pictures of the victims if he did not pay the money. The private information of the customers in the company was exposed to the public by mistake. The private information of the customers in the company was exposed to the public because the website of the company was hacked. The fraudulent man threatened to expose private information of the victim to the public and trying to deprive him of the money. Exposing our skin to the sun for a long time is not good for our health. Exposing our skin to the sun for a long time is not good. But not exposing our skin to the sun at all is not also good. The confident employee exposed the wrongdoing of the company. The brave employee exposed the wrongdoing of the boss to the detective. Are you interested in the investment? 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 Do you have the interest in the investment? And are you interested in the investment? Are you interested in the investment? Interested in the investment? Doctrine. Laissez-faire doctrine. Have you heard of laissez-faire doctrine? Doctrine. Drinking water in the morning doctrine. Drinking water in the morning doctrine. 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 Wake up early doctrine. Sleep early at night doctrine. No alcohol doctrine. No alcohol doctrine. 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 sleep early doctrine, no alcohol doctrine, no cigarette, no smoking doctrine, no alcohol and cigarette doctrine, doctrine. Which subject were your favorites at school? Which subjects were your favorites? Which subject was your favorite at school? Which subject was your favorite at school? Modern society? The cafe I went yesterday was more modern compared to the one I went last week. Meiji Restoration is a series of reforms which modernized Japan drastically. Meiji Restoration is a series of reforms which modernized Japan drastically. There are some obsolete systems which should be modernized. There are still some old systems, obsolete, old-fashioned systems, which should be modernized. There are some obsolete systems which should be modernized. There are still old-fashioned systems which should be modernized. The modernization changed the society drastically, thoroughly. The modernization of the society changed the society drastically. Modernization. It took much time until the Japan turned into the modernization. It took much time until the Japan adopted the modernization with the Meiji Restoration. Modernization. Modernization. What is the modernization exactly? What is the modernization exactly like? What is the modernization exactly like? The Meiji Restoration contributed to the modernization a lot. The Meiji Restoration led the Japan to the modernization. Meiji Restoration contributed to the Japanese modernization. Meiji Restoration contributed to the modernization. Are you optimistic or pessimistic? I think people with optimistic mind will succeed. Are you optimistic or pessimistic? Are you optimistic or pessimistic? Are you optimistic or pessimistic? Are you optimistic? Are you optimistic or pessimistic? Are you an optimist? Are you an optimist? Optimist. Optimist. Are you an optimist? Are you an optimist? Are you an optimist or a pessimist? Are you an optimist or a pessimist? I think many successful people are optimists. They are confident that their business will succeed. I think successful people are optimists. They are looking forward to their future. They love what they are doing. I think successful people are optimists. I think many or all of the successful people are optimists of what they are doing and they are looking forward to their future. Optimist. Are you an optimist or a pessimist? Are you an optimist or a pessimist? Optimist. Optimist. Are you an optimist? Optimist. Are you an optimist or a pessimist? Optimist. 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 Are you an optimist? Are you an optimist or a pessimist? Optimist. Are you an optimist? Are you an optimist or a pessimist? Optimist. 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 Optimism or pessimism. Optimism or pessimism. I'm usually with pessimism and try to overcome the difficulties with a lot of effort. I'm usually with pessimism, so I feel a lot of emotions such as sadness, depression, happiness, and so on. But it's good it can be good because I try to overcome the difficulties with a lot of effort. Optimism. Optimism. Pessimism. Optimism. 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 Or pessimism. I try to be optimism. I try to be optimism. I try to be with optimism. When I'm sad, I try to be with optimism. 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 I try to be with optimism. 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 I try to be with optimism. I try to be with optimism. I'd like to optimize my qualifications, which I struggled with. I had difficulty in getting. I'd like to optimize my qualifications, which I had difficulty in getting. I had trouble in getting. When I found my number on the result, I was relieved. I was alleviated. I optimized. When I found my number on the result, I optimized. When the batter realized he had got the home run, he optimized. I'd like to optimize the qualifications which I had difficulty in getting. I often find it difficult to understand the native speaker speaking so fast. I often find difficulty in understanding the native speaker speaking so fast. I often find it difficult to understand the native speakers speaking so fast. I often have difficulty in understanding native speakers speaking so fast. I'd like to optimize the opportunity to stay in Hokkaido because I cannot go there for a while. We should take advantage, utilize, optimize our rare opportunity to do something. We should optimize the precious opportunity which might not come again. We should optimize the opportunity which might not come again. I'd like to optimize the qualifications I had difficulty in getting. I'd like to optimize the qualifications which I really had difficulty in getting. I went to the yakiniku restaurant with hunger. To optimize the good dealings. To optimize my hunger. To optimize eating a lot. I try to optimize my precious time of living in the country. I optimized my precious experience of working in the country. I optimized my opportunity to stay in the country. I optimized my privilege of entering the facility for free. I optimized my precious time to the trip to the country. People, especially living in urban cities, are good at optimizing their time between classes and classes, between class and class, or between the next jobs, or the distance, the gap, or killing time. People in urban cities are good at optimizing spare time, free time. Everyone would like to optimize their skill. I'd like to optimize my skills too. I'd like to optimize my features. I'd like to optimize my skills, which other people cannot imitate. He has a notion that honesty will pay off in the long run. He is living with the notion that honesty will make good in the future. He is living with the notion that honesty will pay off in the future, will make good in the future. Your notion that money is the most valuable thing in the society doesn't apply to me. Your notion that money is everything will not apply to many people. The company has a notion that customers' satisfaction comes first. The company is selling products with the notion that customer satisfaction comes first. The company sells products with the notion that customer satisfaction comes first. It is a notional world in the video game. It's totally different from the real world. Metaverse is a notional world, imaginary world, notional world, notional economy. The world depicted in the computer is notional. There is no assurance that the future in the world becomes like that. There is no assurance that the world will become like that in the future. It is at least a notional world depicted in the book. Notional worlds are often depicted in books, movies. Notional theory, notional result, notional result, notional society, notional hypothesis. It's not based on real experiment. It is a notional data, not based on the practical experiment. It is just a notional result, not based on the experiment. Practical experiment. Notional and experimental data can be difficult, could be difficult, might be different. The notional and practical difference. The notional and practical difference. The notional and practical data. The notional data. The notional world. The notional figures. Notional story. Notional ideas, notional story, notional economy, notional book, notional story, notional theory. Notional. Notional story. Notional and practical data. The notional and practical data were different. The notional and practical data are different. Notional. Some notional figures are depicted in the book. Some notional figures appearance of the characters are depicted in the book. Some notional appearances of the characters are depicted in the movie. Some notional appearances of the characters are depicted in the movie. Some notional appearances of the characters are depicted in the movie. Some notional appearances of the characters are depicted in the movie. Some notional appearances of the characters are depicted in the movie. Notional. Some notional appearances of the characters are depicted in the movie, but real ones we cannot know. We cannot know the real ones. We cannot know how they look like in the real, in practical, in practice. Being able to see Mount Fuji from this viewpoint is just a notional. Being able to see Mount Fuji from this viewpoint is just notional. 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 The supply of masks did not catch up with the speed of the demand for masks. The supply of food and drinks was sent to the disaster-stricken area. The supply of the food and drinks was distributed to the refugees, victims. We can easily get supplies in a convenience store now, and the convenience stores are open to the public for 24 hours, around the clock. The supply of the masks was delayed because people rushed to buy the masks at once, and it became sold out soon. The volunteer group is supplying the food and drinks to the victims in the disaster-stricken area. The catering company supplies the company with food every day. The petroleum station supplies us with the gasoline every day. The power plant supplies us with electricity every day. The sun supplies us with energy every day. The festival supplied us with many entertainments. The petroleum station supplies the gas to the drivers every day. The power plant supplies us with electricity. The power plant supplies us with electricity. The factory is the supplier of iron goods. The company entered into some contract with suppliers. The company entered into contract with the supplier. The company entered into the contract with the supplier of food. The company entered into the contract with the supplier of the food. Supplier, 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 supplier. Supplier, 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 supplier. Supplier. The company entered into the contract with a supplier of food. The executive members are discussing changing the supplier of the semiconductor. The board of directors are discussing changing the supplier of the semiconductor. The detectives are investigating whether the fire happened spontaneously or not. The detectives are checking whether the fire happened spontaneously or not. The detectives are investigating whether or not the fire was arson or not. Not many employees are willing to clean toilets. Not many employees are willing to clean the toilet. Not many employees will clean toilet spontaneously. Tsunami can happen spontaneously after the earthquake. Tsunami can happen after the earthquake spontaneously. 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 The detectives are investigating whether the fire came about spontaneously or not. The detectives are investigating whether or not the fire came about spontaneously or not. Natural disasters happen spontaneously. Natural disasters happen spontaneously. But we can predict what kind of disasters will happen from the lessons, so we can prepare for that to some extent. Typhoons are created spontaneously. 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 Was it spontaneous? Was the fire spontaneous? Was the fire of the castle spontaneous or awesome? Was the fire of the castle spontaneous or awesome? Was the fire of the castle spontaneous or awesome? Spontaneous. Typhoons are 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 spontaneous. Natural disasters are spontaneous. Many things are spontaneous, but we can predict what will happen from the lessons, and we can prepare for that. The investigators are investigating whether the fire of the castle was spontaneous or arson. Earthquakes are spontaneous. Earthquakes are spontaneous. In the current science, technology, and knowledge, we cannot predict when the earthquake will happen. With the current technology, we cannot still predict the exact date of the earthquake. Thanks to your advice, I could avoid the accident. It is said ghosts are invisible. Are the ghosts appear in the picture? Do the ghosts appear in the picture? Can it happen for the ghost to appear in the picture? Can it happen for the ghost to appear in the pictures? Can it be? Can it happen for the ghost to appear in the pictures? Because it is said ghosts are invisible. Ghosts are invisible. But ghosts might turn up in the pictures. invisible. There are some objects invisible to the naked eye. The galaxy is too far to see by naked eyes. The galaxy is too far to see the naked eyes. There are some objects which are invisible to the naked eyes. There are some objects in the universe which are invisible to the naked eyes. Invisible, 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 invisible. The reverse of the invisibility is the visibility. Invisible. Is it invisible? Is it visible? The galaxy is too far to see with naked eyes. Invisible, invisible, invisible. I got scared when I found a ghost in the picture. I was scared when I saw a ghost in the picture because it is said they are invisible. Invisible, invisible. If you have a good eyesight, it is invisible from this viewpoint. If you have a good eyesight, it is visible from this viewpoint. Ghosts are not visible. Visible, 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 visible. Visible, visible. Visible, visible. My sadness was visible from my expression on my face. My sadness was clear, obvious, visible from my expression, on my face. Visible, visible, visible. The new name of the era, called Reiwa, was a little visible from the board already before the announcement. The new name of the era, Reiwa, was visible from the board when he put the board on the podium before the announcement. It was responsible for you visibly. Visibly, visibly, visibly. His sadness was obvious visibly. His sadness was obvious visibly. Visibly. The number of foreign tourists has been increasing visibly after the lift of the border measures. The number of tourists has been increasing visibly after since the lift of the border measures. Visibly. Visibly. visibly, 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 visibly. The number of foreign tourists has been increasing visibly since the lift of the border measures. The number of tourists has been increasing visibly since the lift of the border measures. Since the lift of the border measures. The number of tourists has been increasing visibly since the lift of the border measures. Visibly, visibly, visibly. Visibly, 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 visibly. Visibly, 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 visibly. Visibly, 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 visibly. Visibly, 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 visibly. Your skill is visibly improving, so please be confident. Please be brave. Please be confident. Your skill has been increasing since the start of the lesson, so please be confident. Visibly. The sales figures of the company, it's been recovering visibly. The sales figures of the company, it's recovering visibly. The number of passengers of the airplanes has been increasing since the lift of the border measures visibly. The number of passengers of the planes has been increasing since the lift of the border measures visibly, 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 visibly. visibly, 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 visibly. The world has been changing visibly. The world has been changing visibly. The common sense has been changing with time visibly, 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 visibly. My disease is being treated visibly. My disease is being treated well visibly. The street was contaminated drastically visibly from after the party. Visibly, 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 visibly. The technology of the manufacturing has been increasing so much. Many productions has been replaced by the machines. Many productions have been replaced by machines. Many productions have been replaced by the machines. Many more and more laborers will be laid off because many of the jobs are being replaced by the robots or machines. Some sheets were covered in the machine to hide the technique of the technology. Manufacturing to hide the manufacturing technology, manufacturing method. Manufacturing, 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 manufacturing. Manufacturing, manufacturing. Have you ever engaged in the manufacturing? Have you ever engaged in manufacturing industry? Do you have the experience of engaging in the manufacturing industry? Do you have the experience of engaging in manufacturing industry? Manufacturing, 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 manufacturing. Some of my friends work in the manufacturing department. Manufacturing department. Manufacturing. Are you interested in manufacturing? Are you interested in manufacturing? The manufacturing technology should not be stolen by spy. The manufacturing technology should not be stolen. Manufacturing. The manufacturing technology of the company is well reputed, assessed, rated, evaluated well. What does the company manufacture? What does your company manufacture? The company manufactures iron plates. The factory manufactures the lid of the pot. The lid of the pot. The factory manufactures pot and pans. What is the factory manufacturing? The factory is manufacturing the pots and pans. It used to take 1 hour to manufacture 1 unit of the product, but thanks to the development of the machine, it can be done within 5 minutes now. We used to manufacture the product. We used to manufacture the 1 unit of the product in 1 hour, but the machine can manufacture the same unit, same amount of the product within 5 minutes. So now we do not manufacture the product, we just operate the machine. The machine can manufacture the product. Manufacture. Many things are manufactured by the machines. Many things are manufactured by machines, and employees operating the machine. Many things are manufactured by machines. Many things are manufactured by the machines. Many things are manufactured by machines. Many things are manufactured by machines. Many things are manufactured by machines. Some of my friends entered the manufacturer, working in a manufacturer. Some of my friends working in manufacturer, manufacturers, manufacturer, 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 manufacturer. Some graduates from the university enter manufacturers. Some graduates from the university enter manufacturers. Manufacturer. Manufacturer. Do you work in a manufacturer? Do you have the experience working in a manufacturer? Do you have the experience of working in a manufacturer? Manufacturer. Do you have the experience of working in a manufacturer? Do you have the experience of working in a manufacturer? Manufacturer. 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 Do you have the experience of engaging in manufacturer? Do you have the experience of working in a manufacturer? Manufacturer. 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 The manufacturer is well known in the world. The manufacturer became so famous after inventing the product, awesome product. The manufacturer became famous after inventing the machine. It was not until recently that the manufacturer became so famous. It was not until recently. It wasn't until recently that the manufacturer became so famous. It was not until yesterday that I was notified of the truth. It was not until yesterday that I was notified of the truth. It won't be until tomorrow. It won't be until tomorrow that the result is announced. It won't be until tomorrow that the result is announced. Are you going to work in the manufacturer? Are you interested in manufacturing? 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 Some people are interested in manufacturing while others don't. While others are not. Some of my friends are working in manufacturing departments. The company has a manufacturing department. The company has some departments, some manufacturing departments. The company has a couple of manufacturing factories. The company has 2 or 3 manufacturing factories in the world. The mega company has a couple of manufacturing factories in the world. The company manufactures almost everything. The company manufactures not only pencils but also motorbikes, piano, and so on. Do you want to work in a manufacturer in the future? Do you want to work in a manufacturer in the future? Manufacturer. Okay, I will finish speaking here. Thank you for watching. See you next time.